I'll go first because I think I'm the only one that's different here.
Yeah.
I have Ohio State winning it all. I think they got the monkey off their back in a big way last season, and so I know they lost a ton, but the way they recruit, the way they bring guys in and develop, and I know JP's not the highest on Julian Sayin, who has now won the job since we did their preview. I'm more than confident he can get the job done. He also just has great weapons to throw to. He's in a good scheme. I mean, Jeremiah Smith is the best receiver in the country. So I think they'll find a way to find themselves in the Big Ten title game and win it. With that being said, I do have them losing to Washington at Washington. That is one of my on the records this season. But they'll bounce back just fine from that and make the title game.
Which means you have them beating Penn State and Michigan.
They don't necessarily have to beat Michigan.
Who do you have in the title game playing them? Do you know?
I probably will have Penn State there, just how it shakes out. Yeah, Penn State.
Yeah, that one, that's for me. I have Penn State winning the Big Ten, but I have them losing at Ohio State.
Yeah.
But then I have them winning the rematch.
Sure.
So I think it's would be hard to beat that team twice.
That's fair.
I think it'll be almost easy to beat them in the shoe, to be honest. I think they match up with the size and athleticism of Penn State, and I think that's a game that's going to come down to Drew Aller and their new receivers. That's got to work because Katron Allen and Nick Singleton, I think have a chance to be productive, but last year they weren't. And
Yeah.
I know Ohio State replaces a ton on the defensive line, but it's could be very, very good replacements, and they expect it to be. And given the weapons offensively, I don't think Julian Sayin or even if it's Tavion St. Clair that starts that game, I think they'll win that game in the shoe. But, yeah, I've got Penn State. I have Penn State winning something as well later, which I'll talk about later. Drew Aller, the two backs, I really like the receiver room. I think the additions are going to be really, really good. The news from that so far is really, really good from people that have been to camp, from people inside their own circles.
Sure.
James Franklin himself loves what they added. Their biggest one for what they were looking for was they had nobody who could go up and make the contested catch to win the jump ball, to win the 50-50. And with a quarterback as capable as Drew Aller, he really had only one opportunity or one option for that last year, and that was Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
Tyler Warren made a ton of those catches. But now they think they have at least two or three guys that can do that at Penn State. And I think it'll just bring another piece to their offense because I'm really high on Drew Aller as a quarterback.
Sure.
Defensively, they should still be just as good. They lose key pieces in Abdul Carter. But Denai Dennis Sutton, I think, is going to be really, really productive for them this year. Yeah, and I've got Penn State win the conference. Hosting Oregon helps a ton, but I do have them losing at Ohio State.
Yeah. My picks, and we'll see when we get to our top 25s, I give a lot of credit to teams returning quarterbacks, especially really good quarterbacks. When we talked about this in our Big Ten show, but Drew Aller would have been QB2 or QB2A with Shedeur Sanders. According to UJP, I would have him as QB2 undisputedly. So, I mean, he was fantastic last year and comes back to kind of try and get that number one spot. And then they also bring in the defensive coordinator from Ohio State, I believe. Is that right?
Yep.
They lost theirs to Clemson, and then they go in and snatch Ohio State.
Jeff Knowles.
That's a huge get for them. So,
Or Jim Knowles.
I think it's Jim.
Jim Knowles,
Yeah. The schedule, like the whole them playing Ohio State and then Ohio State playing Oregon, like it could create a really interesting three-way situation.
Yeah, the tiebreaker would get really awkward, especially if all teams had one loss. There's even a route where it goes down to like a coin flip.
Sure.
The first one would be strength of victory, but there's a chance that could be nearly identical between teams.
I feel like, personally, even though I think these are in my opinion, that's the top tier of the Big Ten. I think there's enough other good teams in the Big Ten that the odds that all three only have one loss.
I agree.
I don't think that's
Ohio
very
State's
likely.
going to have two. Ohio State's going to have either Oregon or Penn State, I think. They play both, and then they play Michigan. Or they play one and they play Michigan.
Play
so
Michigan,
I think they'll have two.
Washington, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
Penn State's even got their own versions of those games. Penn State plays tough. They They're at Michigan State. That's a chance that they could lose that. At Iowa, I think, is the one for Penn State.
Sure.
That scares me this year because we've seen that in the past with Ohio State specifically losing at Iowa. Penn State was able to win that game. What was it, 2 years ago when both teams were top 10? But I think that's a huge one for Penn State, and that really should be – that's the game you can't throw away because the next game after that is at Ohio State. There's a bye week between the two, but it's very easy to be a look-ahead game, and it's just like, oh, let's just get into the bye week. Got to go play at Iowa. So I'm scared of that one for Penn State this year. But I do think it's a fair point. I think it's very possible that we're going to have two-loss team in the Big Ten championship this year.
Yeah.
I think one of them is going to go undefeated. For me, it's Ohio State. But I think, yeah, it's very likely that someone has two.
Wait, you said, but you have Ohio State winning the Penn State game in the regular season and
Penn
losing
State
the
gets
rematch.
revenge. Yeah.
Yes.